Chapter 1. What is discipline? There is a quiet strength that does not shout, a silent power that grows with every choice you make when no one is watching. That power is discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is not a cage that locks your freedom. It is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. When you wake up in the morning and your body whispers, "Sleep a little more," discipline is the voice that says, "Rise, your future is waiting." When your heart feels weak, when your mind searches for excuses, discipline becomes the hand that pulls you forward. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is the art of mastering your feelings instead of being mastered by them. It is the quiet decision that separates dreamers from doers. The misunderstanding about discipline. Many people fear the word discipline. They imagine rules, restrictions, and routines that steal joy. But true discipline does not take life away, it gives it back. Because discipline is not the absence of freedom, it is the foundation of freedom. A musician practices the same notes 1,000 times, and in that repetition, he finds creativity. An athlete repeats the same motion until his body moves like water, and in that structure, he finds flow. A writer sits down every day, even on the days when words refuse to come, and in that commitment, she finds her voice. Without discipline, passion fades. Without discipline, dreams remain dreams. Discipline turns passion into practice, and practice into power. The birth of discipline. Discipline begins not in the mind, but in a single decision. It begins when you say, "I am tired of letting life happen to me. From now on, I will happen to life." It begins the day you refuse to be controlled by your moods. It begins the moment you stop waiting for the perfect time, because there is no perfect time. There is only now. When you learn to act without the permission of your emotions, you begin to understand the power of discipline. It is not about motivation, it is about commitment. Motivation feels like fire. It burns hot but fades fast. Discipline is like the sun, steady, constant, unstoppable. It does not depend on the weather, it becomes the weather. The silent fight within. Every human being lives between two voices, the voice of comfort and the voice of growth. The voice of comfort says, "You've done enough." The voice of growth says, "You can do better." Discipline is choosing which voice to obey. Most people lose this battle not because they are weak, but because they never learn that discomfort is the path of expansion. When you push through the moment of resistance, you don't just build habits, you build identity. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who is. You stop saying, "I will start," and begin saying, "I have become." The beauty of boredom. Real discipline is not glamorous. It is quiet mornings, long hours, and invisible effort. It is doing small things again and again until they no longer need willpower. The world celebrates results, but discipline celebrates effort. A seed does not bloom the day it is planted. It must survive darkness, pressure, and time. Discipline is that faith, the unseen patience that believes, even if I can't see progress, I am becoming progress. When others rest, you keep walking. When others doubt, you keep trusting. When others wait for the right moment, you create it. Discipline and desire. Discipline is not the enemy of desire, it is the guardian of desire. Desire without discipline is a spark that burns out, but desire with discipline becomes an eternal flame. When your dreams are strong, but your habits are weak, you create a life of frustration. When your habits grow stronger than your excuses, you create a life of fulfillment. You don't need more time. You don't need more talent. You need more discipline, the courage to do the simple things every single day. Because the truth is this: your success will never be decided by how big your dreams are, but by how consistent your discipline is. The gift of saying no. Discipline is also the art of saying no, not to others, but to yourself. Every no to laziness is a yes to purpose. Every no to distraction is a yes to peace. Every no to comfort is a yes to growth. You cannot build a strong life with a weak mind, and you cannot build a focused mind without saying no to noise. Each time you choose what is right over what is easy, you rewire your brain for greatness. You teach your body that your mind is the master. The discipline of the heart. We often think discipline lives in the mind, but the greatest discipline begins in the heart. It is the discipline to love when you are hurt, to forgive when you are broken, to keep giving when you feel empty. Discipline of the heart is the courage to stay kind in a world that tests your goodness. It is not just about doing, it is about being. Being strong enough to stay calm. Being wise enough to stay humble, being brave enough to stay true. The eternal truth. There will always be two kinds of people: those who wait for the mood to feel right, and those who act even when they don't feel ready. The first ones live by emotion, the second live by discipline, and the world quietly bows to the second kind. Because discipline is not a moment, it is a lifestyle. It is not about forcing perfection, it is about embracing consistency. It is not about how fast you move, it is about how far you refuse to stop. When the noise fades and the lights go off, discipline will still be there, guiding you, shaping you, protecting your dream. And one day you will look back and realize what once felt like sacrifice was actually freedom. Because discipline was never your enemy, it was your greatest form of self-love. Chapter 2. Why Motivation Fails. Motivation is beautiful. It feels like lightning. Sudden, bright, electrifying. It fills your chest with energy, your mind with dreams, and your heart with courage. But lightning never lasts. Motivation burns fast, and then it disappears. It gives you a spark, not a system. It wakes you up, but it doesn't keep you moving. That is why most people fail. Not because they don't have dreams, not because they don't have talent, but because they depend on motivation to carry them. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions change. One day you feel strong, the next you feel tired. One morning you wake up ready to conquer the world, the next morning you can't even conquer your blanket. If your success depends on how you feel, you will never build anything that lasts. The illusion of motivation. The world glorifies motivation. Social media tells you, be inspired, find your why, stay motivated. But here is the truth no one tells you. Motivation is not meant to stay. It is the start, not the structure. Motivation is the spark that lights the candle, but discipline is the wax that keeps the flame alive. Without discipline, your motivation will melt in the heat of reality. You can watch hundreds of motivational videos. You can listen to the best speeches. You can shout, "I can do it," every morning. But if you cannot make yourself act when you don't feel like it, then all that motivation will die the moment life gets hard. The emotional trap. Motivation works only when life goes your way. It vanishes the moment you face pain, failure, or rejection. You tell yourself, "Tomorrow I'll start." Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And suddenly, you're still dreaming about a life you could have built. This is the trap of motivation. It makes you believe that you must feel good to do good. But the strongest people act even when they feel terrible. They move through fear, through sadness, through doubt, because they know that motion creates emotion. You don't wait to feel ready. You act your way into readiness. The difference between the motivated and the disciplined. The motivated person works when it's convenient. The disciplined person works even when it's painful. The motivated person runs fast for a few days. The disciplined person walks steadily for years.
Chapter 3. The Science of Self-Control. Self-control is the silent force that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It is the invisible shield between desire and destruction, between chaos and creation. To master yourself is the greatest victory you will ever know, because the truth is, the world outside can be conquered only after you conquer the world within. The first battle. The war inside you. Every morning, you wake up to a war that no one else can see. It is not a war between you and the world, but between your mind and your impulses. One side whispers, "Rest, scroll, delay, enjoy." The other side whispers, "Rise, build, grow, become." This war is not fought once. It is fought every day, and each decision, small or big, decides who wins. Self-control is not about perfection. It is about progress, about choosing the stronger voice, one moment at a time. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to your destiny. Every time you resist the easy path, you create space for greatness. What self-control really means. Self-control is not about denying yourself happiness. It is about delaying short-term pleasure for long-term peace. It is saying, "I could waste my time now, but I choose to invest it." It is saying, "I could quit when it hurts, but I choose to finish." Self-control is self-respect in action. It is proof that you value your future more than your comfort. Anyone can give in to temptation. That takes no strength. But the person who pauses, breathes, and chooses wisely, that person is powerful beyond measure. The moment of weakness. There will always be moments when the old habits call you back. The voice will come softly. Just this once, only today. But you must remember, every just once has a cost. Each time you give in, the chain of your control weakens. Each time you stand firm, it grows stronger. Strength is built in silence, not when you win easily, but when you are tempted and still choose what is right. So when the moment of weakness arrives, don't ask, "Can I do this?" Ask, "Will I still respect myself if I don't?" That single question can save you from 1,000 regrets. Distractions, the thieves of time. Self-control is constantly attacked by the world around you. Your phone buzzes, your mind wanders, your focus drifts. You tell yourself, just 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes steal your dreams. Every distraction is a test. It asks you, what do you value more, entertainment or excellence? Self-control is not about living a boring life. It is about living a meaningful one. When you learn to say no to noise, you hear the voice of your purpose more clearly. And once you taste that clarity, you will never trade it for chaos again. The discipline of desire. Self-control is not about killing desire. It is about guiding it. Desire is fire. Uncontrolled, it burns you. Disciplined, it builds you. Control does not mean suppression. It means direction. You don't remove the fire. You focus it. When your desires serve your purpose, they become your allies. When they control you, they become your enemies. The person who controls desire does not live less. They live more because they live with intention. The power of the pause. Every act of self-control begins with a pause. Between stimulus and response, there is a sacred space, a single breath. In that breath, you have power. Power to stop reacting and start choosing. When anger rises, pause. When laziness whispers, pause. When fear shouts, pause. That small space is where wisdom lives. That single moment is where freedom begins. Learn to breathe before you act. Learn to think before you speak. Learn to choose before you move. That is the foundation of self-mastery. The weight of choices. Every choice you make carries a weight. Either it lifts you or it drags you down. Self-control is lifting heavier weight first, so life becomes lighter later. It's easy to eat what you crave, to say what you feel, to do what you want. But real power is doing what's right, not what's easy. Every disciplined act is a seed. It may not bloom today, but one day it will feed you peace. So when your body says enough and your dream says more, listen to your dream. Because comfort feeds the moment, but self-control feeds the soul. The mirror test. Self-control is not about impressing the world. It is about being able to look in the mirror and be proud of the person you see. The world may never know the battles you fight, the nights you stayed up, the temptations you resisted, the tears you swallowed, but you will know. And that quiet pride, that inner respect, is worth more than any applause. Self-control gives you that. It gives you peace that cannot be bought and confidence that cannot be faked. The strength in saying no. People will call you boring. They will laugh when you choose discipline over distraction. They will not understand why you say no so often. But remember, you are not rejecting pleasure. You are protecting purpose. You are not missing out. You are building up. The path of self-control is lonely, but it is also legendary. When others sleep, you study. When others doubt, you build. When others quit, you continue. And one day, the same people who laughed will ask, "How did you do it?" You will smile quietly because your answer will be simple. I learned to control myself before life controlled me. When you fall. Even the strongest lose control sometimes. You will slip, you will fall, you will fail. But don't let one mistake convince you you've lost everything. Self-control is not about never falling. It's about rising faster each time you do. Every failure can become a lesson, and every mistake can become a reminder. Don't waste energy hating yourself for slipping. Use that energy to stand up again, wiser, sharper, stronger. You don't lose self-control in one bad moment. You lose it only when you stop trying to regain it. The reward of mastery. There is a peace that only the disciplined know. It's the peace of walking past temptation and smiling. The peace of saying, I could, but I won't. The peace of knowing I own myself. That peace is power. It cannot be given. It must be earned. When you master yourself, you stop chasing validation, approval, and attention. You no longer need the world to clap for you because you've already clapped for yourself. The final realization. Self-control is not the end of joy. It is the beginning of real joy. When you live with control, you are no longer dragged by desires, but guided by destiny. You think clearer, feel deeper, and love stronger, because you are no longer lost in impulses. You are anchored in purpose. And that is when you truly begin to live, not as a prisoner of habit, but as the master of your mind. Chapter 4. Training Your Mind. Brain Fire. A 3,000-word powerful motivational narration for Hustle for Isha. The beginning of mental mastery. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, but also your most dangerous enemy. If you don't train it, it will control you. If you don't discipline it, it will destroy your focus, your peace, and your dreams. Every great person you admire, every champion, every leader, every success story, they all mastered one thing before everything else, their mind. Because success doesn't start with money, fame, or talent. It starts with mental strength, the ability to stay calm in chaos, to push forward in pain, and to keep believing when the world stops believing in you. Your mind is a muscle. Just like your body, it grows through training.
Chapter 5. The Pain of Laziness. The Silent Killer of Dreams. Laziness doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't break your dreams in one day. It kills them slowly, quietly, one excuse at a time. It says, you deserve rest. It says, you'll do it tomorrow. It says, you've got time. And you believe it. You delay once, then twice, then forever. And before you realize it, years have passed, and your dreams are still in progress. Laziness doesn't hurt immediately. That's why it's dangerous. It gives comfort now and pain later. Discipline gives pain now and peace forever. The choice is yours. The comfort trap. We all love comfort. The cozy bed, the easy task, the relaxing day. But comfort is addictive. It makes you forget your hunger. And once you lose hunger, you lose growth. Every great person you admire learned to live uncomfortably. They traded easy for worth it. Laziness tells you that comfort is happiness, but the truth? Comfort without progress turns into misery. Because deep inside, your soul knows you were made for more. You were made to build, to grow, to writhe, not to scroll endlessly, not to wait endlessly. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing regret over reward.
The illusion of time. Laziness always says later, but later is the biggest lie you'll ever believe. There is no later. There is only now, and the choices you make in this moment. The world is filled with people who said, "I'll start tomorrow," and never did. Laziness doesn't steal your dream all at once. It steals it minute by minute, in tiny, invisible ways. Every 5 minutes of distraction, every skipped plan, every delayed start, they all add up until one day you look back and say, "Where did the time go?" The regret of laziness. The pain of discipline lasts a few hours. The pain of laziness lasts a lifetime. Because discipline hurts your body, but laziness hurts your soul. There is no heavier feeling than realizing that you had the chance and you wasted it. That you had potential and you let it fade. That you had dreams, but comfort felt easier. And when you finally want to change, you realize time doesn't wait for anyone. Laziness is not rest. Laziness is slow suicide, the death of ambition, one soft choice at a time. Excuses, the shield of the lazy mind. Laziness never comes alone. It brings excuses. I'm tired. I'm not ready. I'll start when things are better. But things will never be perfect. There will never be a right moment. The only right moment is now. Every time you make an excuse, you teach your mind that it's okay to quit. And once quitting becomes a habit, success becomes impossible. Excuses sound smart, but they build a life that feels empty. So stop explaining your delay. Start executing your dream. The comfort zone, a beautiful prison. Your comfort zone feels safe. It's warm, familiar, predictable. But nothing ever grows there. Laziness makes you love that zone, the one where nothing hurts, but nothing changes either. You can't become who you're meant to be by staying where it's easy. Growth begins the moment you step outside comfort. It's uncomfortable, yes. Painful, yes. But so is staying stuck. The difference? One pain gives you strength. The other gives you regret. The voice of tomorrow. Imagine your future self, 5 years from now. 10 years from now, standing in front of you. Would they thank you or blame you? Would they say, "Thank you for pushing through"? Or, "Why did you waste our time?" Every lazy choice today is a betrayal to the person you could become. The future you is watching. Don't let them down. Laziness and fear. Laziness often hides fear. You're not lazy, you're scared. Scared of failure, scared of judgment, scared of not being enough. So you don't start. You distract yourself. You call it rest, but it's really escape. Laziness gives you a fake peace, but inside, you know the truth. You're running away from your potential. The cure isn't rest. The cure is action. Action kills fear faster than comfort will ever will. The mind trick of laziness. Laziness is clever. It makes you feel busy doing nothing. You'll organize your desk, scroll through motivational videos, and convince yourself you're working. But inside, you know. You're just avoiding the real task. Lazy people work hard at avoiding work. Winners work hard at finishing it. The mind trained by laziness finds escape. The mind trained by purpose finds results. The weight of unused potential. There's a pain that no one talks about, the pain of wasted potential. It's not the pain of failure, it's the pain of never trying. When you see others succeed and say, "I could have done that," that's laziness speaking through regret. The saddest truth is you'll never know how great you could have been if you never start. So start, even small, even scared, even unsure, because motion beats laziness every single time. Breaking the cycle. You can't fight laziness with willpower alone. You need structure. You need purpose. You need discipline. Make your mornings sacred. Make your goals clear. Make your plans visible. Don't wait for motivation. Create momentum. Once you move, momentum replaces motivation. Once you act, energy replaces excuses. And soon what felt hard will feel normal. Because the secret to beating laziness isn't doing everything at once. It's doing something every day. The reward of action. Action gives life meaning. It gives you pride, confidence, energy. When you act, you stop overthinking. When you move, you silence the doubt. That's why every successful person says the same thing: "I just started." They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They created it through action. One step, one day, one choice at a time. That's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. The truth about rest. Real rest comes after effort, not before it. If you rest before you earn it, it's not peace, it's avoidance. Laziness promises you rest, but gives you restlessness. Because when you know you haven't done your best, you can't truly relax. Rest feels good only when it's deserved. Work first, rest proud later. The turnaround moment. Every lazy person has a breaking point, a moment when they realize enough is enough. Maybe you failed again. Maybe you saw someone else win. Maybe you looked at your life and felt stuck. That's not a bad moment. It's your wake-up call. The day you say, "I can't live like this anymore," is the day laziness starts to die. Because once you taste purpose, comfort feels empty. The fire inside. Laziness fades when purpose burns bright. When your why is powerful enough, you stop needing motivation. You move because you must. You act because you can't stay still. Find your reason, your why. Your mother's smile, your dream house, your younger self who believed in you. Make that your fire. Because once that fire burns, laziness has no chance. The final realization. Laziness is not rest, it's decay. It doesn't care about your dreams, your future, or your happiness. It only cares about keeping you comfortable. But comfort never built a legend. Discipline did. The pain of effort lasts for a moment. The pain of